Oh, oh God, oh God, where am I? All these TVs, who are you? Where, the numbers, what do the TVs mean? What are we doing here?
Howdy, partner.
I apologise if my voice doesn't sound as it normally does. I have been feeling a bit under the weather this week. I've got a bit of flu, but nothing was going to stop me making this video because we have hit 1,000 subs and I cannot believe it. And it's like obviously 1,000 such a huge deal, so that's why I wanted to bring you guys this video, another sub asked video. Can you beat falloutnewvegas as a Vietnam soldier? Thanks to these comments for great suggestions. I felt like after the World War II video this was quite a natural step in terms of another good video idea, and in this one I must admit I had a lot of fun, mainly because I made sure I did a bit of research into all the weapons I could use. I didn't make the same mistake as the World War II video, and I definitely double checked, and I'm sure you guys will be very happy with all the weapons I picked. You saw there I've got the 9mm pistol, which I could have used in the last one, and as I'm using it here, Trudy is so happy that I'm finally using it. She wants to get in on some of the action as I'm trying to take out Joe Cobb, and it was at this point where I was like, what do I do? What do I do? I decided to restart. I don't want to get good springs on my bad side, so I take out Joe Cobb without making sure Trudy does not get in the way this time. This playthrough for the early game was much easier than the World War II one. I mean, I've already got the Mercenaries grenade rifle, and I checked. Vietnam, they were using these bad boys. Same with the 9mm pistol, and also the next weapon I'm going to go grab straight after this. But before I grab that, I get these distinctive cigarette butts, which, again, thank you TK Madness, because they're just as viable as the lighter you get from Jessup. And I come over here to get my next weapon, Chance's knife. Now, the combat knife, yes, Vietnam soldiers were using, pretty much all of them had it. And I've actually never used Chance's knife in a casual playthrough. And I was very, very excited to use it because you can see it here, just early game, only about level 2. It's a one-shot, and I don't know how much more powerful it is than a regular combat knife. I didn't compare its stats, but I was shocked at how powerful it was. And you can see here I'm still changing it up. The grease gun for Doc Mitch's house, and also you get a bunch of them from a lot of the powder gangers. And I know I could have used it in the World War II video, but it was also used at the beginning of the Vietnam War as well, so there's a little fact that I actually didn't know. During my time rescuing Beagle, I decided not to give Prim to the lawful man in the world, and decided I'm going to give it to the NCR. Because as a lot of you said, the NCR would have made a lot of sense for the World War II video, and I tried to justify it not being that, you know, to change up the ending, but I've not done an NCR playthrough in a while, so I thought this is a perfect one to use for the NCR. I went for the same armor as the World War II video, as looking throughout all the Fallout wiki, I couldn't find anything that looked close enough for a Vietnam soldier. And look how happy my guy is doing his little jig. Unfortunately, unlike the Boone video, all the Jackal gang members seem to have the Merc Grunt outfit, which is the even better of the two because it improves your guns and your melee weapons. So, travelling all the way up to get that Wasteland Survival one was not needed, and which is an unnecessary detour. I mean, it's almost like they're mocking me. They're all wearing it. In the Boone one, it took me hours to get my first one. I decided to head straight to Nipton instead of hitting the Mojave outpost first, so I could speak to Volpez and just get that quest done quicker. Find a nice sneaky way in, and I think about taking them all out, but decide for the time being I don't need to, so I'll decide just to get the quest added and start heading towards the Mojave outpost. That's not before I get a nice little Oliver Swankett shot, which would be unfortunate to miss them in these playthroughs. It's one of the only things that keeps me coming back. I'm doing the Ranger Jackson quest for one of the first times ever where I'm doing it for the service rifle, not the experience, not for the NCR rep or anything like that, for the actual service rifle in its own. And yeah, and again, now I was looking through, I felt like this weapon is close enough to the M16, similar to another another weapon that we'll see later on. But yeah, looks pretty close to the M16, and to me, fair game for this playthrough. And you know, I got it now, and I used it a lot when I first, picked it up here. But I don't think I got too much more use out of it after that. After picking up a mod for the grenade rifle, I head straight over to Boulder City and pay my respects to Kowalski, you know. I'm a Vietnam vet, I understand, and decide to take out my remorse on Jessup, because nobody shoots a soldier in the face and gets away with it. So even though I've got the cigarette butts from the start, it's always good to get the lighter as well, you know. Double bind, there's no way Swank will deny me now. The fight with the Great Cans goes as it always does, pretty simple. Chance's knife is a bit of a strange poetic justice, you know. It's a Great Can knife, finishing off the Great Cans, the ones that left them there. And I head straight over to Hoover Dam and get the snow globe. Now, as I called myself Lieutenant Dan, I thought it was my responsibility to head over to Camp Golf. For the one reason is that I also want to get the VIP card for Lucky Fair 8, but I also want to train up these recruits, you know. As Lieutenant Dan would, as he trained up Forrest Gump, I want to get in here and help these newbies fix their fighting. And it's surprising, I think this might be also the first time I've ever fully finished this quest. When I was looking for quests in the game that could be related to the character, this one seemed, you know, guns, explosive, seemed quite good. But yeah, you just need 45 in both and you can finish it within, you know, a couple minutes of just standing there. And I love this part where they all throw the grenades. They throw them and then they just run, as if they have no idea what they're doing. I don't think my training helped at all. I don't think any of that could have helped. But I grabbed the snow globe, used the credit check to get in, grab another snow globe, and get all 8,000 caps for my troubles. For the main reason is that I'm going to buy out the Vendatron this time. Here I bought a lot of ammo, and the main new weapon, the assault carbine. Now, I know some people are going to fight, well, is that Vietnam weapon? And I think it looks pretty close to the M16 as well. I feel like they're both, like the service rifle and the assault carbine, are just two heads of the same coin, you know. And I got all the mods, as much ammo as I could get with all the caps that I got. And yeah. Oh yeah, for this playthrough I decided that I wasn't going to do any gambling because A, it makes it a bit too easy. And B, I don't know, it just doesn't seem right. I also forgot to mention that I'm wearing Jessup's bandana because to me, the sunglasses, the bandana look, it screams Vietnam soldier, you know? It just screams it, one of those we were soldiers scenes, you know? What other Vietnam movies are there? Forrest Gump's got a couple scenes. Platoon, you know? And I didn't want to use a combat helmet. I used that in the World War II video. But the bandana, I don't know, it really fits the character to me. Now at this point, I think in an effort to try and make this as efficient as possible, I completed a bunch of quests in the most inefficient way that I could. So I started off the King's Quest, I spoke to the Garretts, I killed Horace, and then I just went and killed Benny. Now I think in my head, I had laid that out better. But for some reason, it came out really disjointed when I was just doing it. And after I go to speak to Mr. House, I decided to go speak to Lady Jane, Santiago. You know, Santiago, he completes 2 of the Garrett quests as well. And Grex to get all the money back for them. And then I head to the King again. I'm not sure why. And then, for some reason, I'm heading over to Brockflower Cave to do Lady Jane's part, to get the rest of the money from her caravan. And what I've realised is that I really don't have to do this. You can press her and you can get a bunch of stuff to sell. So going all the way to Brockflower Cave doesn't seem very necessary, but I get to turn in all the caps and I get all my money for all the bounties back. I then go speak to Ralph to talk about my favourite robot in the whole game, except for Slim Prim. I'll never let him say Slim Prim. I speak to Julia Farkas. I quickly run and start doing the rest of the King's Quest while I'm here. And while I'm at it, I upload the old thing to Fisto, and well, there's only one thing to do at this point, isn't there? You gotta give it a test. And as at this point, I forgot that I'd even put on Wild Wasteland, and I got attacked by the ladies with the rolling pins, and I thought to myself, yeah, this would fit into a Vietnam War movie, right? Definitely, this is very thematically clear what's going on. And while I'm doing that, I head back to Elizabeth Kieran. For some reason, jump to Caleb McCafferty outside Gomorrah. I shoot him there. I don't know why I went from all the way down there all the way up here. Took his stuff, thought about the Bounty Hunter Duster, and thought about a future playthrough. If anyone's got any good ideas, let me know. And turned in both the quests to James and his sister, getting all the XP and all the caps. It's here where I finally start doing the end of the King's Quest. I go off and I deal with Elizabeth and get all the fighting to stop and head towards the boomers. Now at this point guys, I do apologise, I feel that my voice is getting worse and worse throughout this video, so please bear with me. And in true Lieutenant Dan fashion, I've gone and lost my legs. Second time of asking, I just hug the wall like you're supposed to do, and make my way through the barrage with only a leg and an arm injured from my trouble, and speak to Pearl. At this point I can complete the boomer's quest in my sleep. Make sure your medicine's high enough, make sure you're listening to Pete is high enough, and make sure you've been hoarding enough scrap metal so you can give all of it to Jack and just complete the quest as soon as you can. As you see, it's already been turned in. I speak to Loyal, I raise the lady from the lake, and I decide to head straight right back to Mr. House as it's time to take him out of the picture. My first attempt goes, well, I think I've seen this scene at the start of We Were Soldiers. I mean, Jesus, those Mark IIs do pretty good, don't they? This time I do the old hop, skip and a jump, great right to that terminal, and head straight in to see Mr. House. I've never seen him come out that quick when you try to talk to him. Did a nice little jump shot, hit him with a grenade, and head back to speak to the king. And realise that actually you can't tell him to stop the fighting. You must speak to Ambassador Crocker first, which caused me to do one extra goddamn journey. And as punishment, the king decided to hide in his room, not down his usual spot, which would have been a lot easier. So, away go Ambassador Crocker, who also decided to hide in his room, because people don't respect my time. I head straight back to the dam to speak to Colonel Moore and get my first assignment. I've already taken out House, so I can head straight over to the Great Cans, where I get to take a bit of practice with my grenade rifle. I bought some fire rounds as well, and I decided to use them on Cook and the rest of the bounties you can get from Crimson Carson, which I'll make sure to turn in later for some easy XP and some caps. Honestly, at this point, it just feels like more of a casual playthrough. I mean, this is a breeze. The assault carbine and the grenade rifle, they are, especially if you're putting all your points into explosive and guns, you wipe out people so fast. Now, in this playthrough, I thought to myself, what would a Vietnam soldier do? And I thought, he definitely wouldn't just murder them all. So what are we going to do? Something we don't usually do. We're going to help the cans. Which, to me, was fun. You know, I haven't got to do this quest in a long time. First thing you always do, make sure they all kill Carl. I mean, unless you're allies with the Legion, then... Nah, you should probably still just kill Carl. Diane sends me to save Anders, and at this point I caught him doing something a little bit strange. You didn't need to put your arms up there, did you? You were hanging perfectly fine down by your side before. Anders is very thankful for my rescue, even though I'm vilified by them. But despite all this war and saving, the only person I gotta save is Snuffles, you know? Because the next place I'm heading off to is Quarry Junction, to meet with the craziest lady ever who decided to make a camp here. Now, it wasn't until this point I realised, I'm vilified by the Great Khans. But you could, I just don't get it, you could still just walk into their camp even though you're vilified. And people will still give you quests. Like, do all the factions do this? I don't know, because, again, at every point, every stage I complete a quest, I'm still just vilified. Anyway, I'm doing a bit of a cheese tactic, hanging out on top of a rock, wiping out the Deathclaws as they run towards me, jump back up so they run away. But I do get to take down a single Deathclaw with the assault carbine out in open combat, so I think that shows more of how powerful they are. I head right back over to the Crimson Caravan, Hostetter, to do the final part. Decide to pass in my free card bounties as well. You know, never hurts to get XP and caps. Turn them all into Diane. Now, Papa Khan, you've got to realise the position he's in. A man who has came in and murdered some of his best guys, who is vilified and hated, has now changed all of his closest allies' minds. So how does he act as Papa? Well, he says we have to go get a book, as you normally would. Says we have to the followers. I get the book from Ezekiel. I give him the book, and this book is enough for him to go, "Hey, murderer man, you right. Fair enough. I would now like to welcome all of you in the, is it annual? It's pretty much weekly at this point, the weekly slot of the Brotherhood. Again, I like the Brotherhood. I even kind of like their quest. But when you're doing these challenge runs, they're too fast. And I just can't help but think a Vietnam soldier wouldn't do all that stuff, all that crazy stuff. Like doing it for Hardin or McNamara. Too much legs, too much computer. So I decided to go in with all the weaponry that I've got, may as well put it to good use, and I'll tell you, that was one of the easiest attacks in the Brotherhood that I've ever done. Now, Colonel Moore is very happy with all this, and she's also sending me off to deal with the Gamora. Now, I usually have already killed them all by this point. But I thought this time it will be good to do the quest somewhat normally by pretty much putting Kachino in charge. Even though Kachino's a bad guy, I feel like helping out Troik, you know, he's kind of dressed like a Vietnam soldier. I want to help. I go in there, thermite all the weapons, you know, sabotage the enemy as you would. Get a nice white flash from a duty there. Still get out though. Still with the walk out even blind. Kachino's so happy he showed me his Michael Jackson impression by walking in the spot. And he's not going backwards, but he certainly ain't going goddamn forwards either. I mean, totally don't have to restart the game for this. Oh, well, second attempt. The Kachino seems much more talkative this time. And I go up and I steal all the ammo from Big Sal and Nero. So when the fighting does start, it's only old Kachino that actually has a gun. Thank you, Norbert, for this trick. I did not know this one before I watched one of your videos. Kachino gets Nero, and at that point I can get access to his assault carbine, which makes it a lot easier for me. Carnivore is so ecstatic at my ability to kill people, she sends me to save the president. There's no point of wasting time. Sit up here, shoot the sniper, back to Moore. I spent every last goddamn dime I got about every possible grenade I could find, and I'm telling you, this is one of the funnest fights I've ever had at the dam. Just running in here with a mercenary grenade rifle and just wiping out some NCR soldiers by accident, but you know, I tried to mostly hit the Centurions. It was nice. It was a nice change of pace, just standing back and launching them, and it made very quick work. I mean, you can see here, I hit the Praetorians with the incendiary rounds, hit the Legate with that. See that myself is getting hurt by this. I'm somehow enemies to myself, and I just keep firing and firing, and eventually I take them all out, and without even noticing, I finished the fight. I didn't even know I was standing by the gate. General Moore accepts my humble victory, and yes, I did prove that you can beat Fallout New Vegas as a Vietnam soldier. Now, I know this is a much shorter video than normal, so I know it's going to be under 20 minutes, and I know the ending seemed a bit rushed there, but over this week, as I've been recording this audio, my voice has just been getting worse and worse. And right now it's feeling okay, so I'm going to finally record this final part for you guys. Reaching 1,000 subs is an unbelievable milestone, and it's motivated me so much because all I want to do now is just keep building and building this community as much as possible. And that's what I want to say to you guys. You guys here are so important to this channel. I cannot believe the support, the comments, the likes, the views. 23,000 views in the World War II video. I don't want to say it's humbling because that seems a bit, I mean, everyone would kind of say that, but when I did this, I generally thought I'll do this for a month. I'll have about 10 subs. 4 of them will be me, and I'll just say, oh, you know what, it was fun while it lasted, but we'll leave it there. But the support you guys have shown, I mean, all I want to do is make more. And even this week, I've had a pretty bad flu, and during this recording I've had to stop a lot to cough, but I still want to get this video out for you every Friday, because that's why this channel is growing the way it is, because of you guys. And again, thank you so much. Please remember to like and subscribe, because without you guys, I mean, it would still be fun, but you guys are making it so much more fun.